the Siege of Paris, which took place in the late 9th century, stands as a significant event in the history of medieval Europe, highlighting the resilience of Parisians against Viking invaders. This siege, part of a series of Viking raids on the Frankish Empire, began when a large fleet of Norsemen sailed up the Seine River in their iconic longships. Their primary objective was to plunder the rich and strategically vital city of Paris. Paris at that time was not the sprawling metropolis we know today, but a burgeoning trade center located on the Isle de la Cité, an island in the Seine River. Its significance stemmed not only from its wealth, but also from its strategic position, controlling the riverine trade routes. The city was protected by formidable Roman walls and towers, which had been reinforced over the centuries to withstand such invasions. The Viking force was formidable, comprising thousands of warriors under the command of notable leaders, such as Siegfried, Sinric, and possibly Rollo, who would later become the founder of Normandy. Upon reaching Paris in late November, the Vikings demanded tribute, a common practice whereby they would be paid to avoid attacking a city. However, the Parisian leadership, under the command of Count Odo of Paris, refused to capitulate, determined to defend the city at all costs. As negotiations failed, the Vikings launched a prolonged assault on the city's defenses. They employed a variety of siege tactics, including direct attacks on the city walls, attempts to breach the gates, and the construction of siege engines. The Parisians, however, showed remarkable ingenuity in their defense. They reinforced their walls, used fire ships to counter the Viking fleet, and even managed to repair breaches in their defenses under fire. The siege, characterized by a series of attacks and counterattacks, dragged on through the harsh winter months. The resilience of the Parisians, coupled with their strategic use of the city's defenses, prevented the Vikings from capturing Paris. Despite their efforts, the Norsemen were unable to breach the city's fortifications effectively. As the siege wore on, the Vikings suffered from the lack of supplies and the onset of diseases, which significantly weakened their fighting capability. The stalemate continued until the spring when the Frankish King Charles the Fat arrived with a relief army. Instead of decisively engaging the Vikings, Charles chose to negotiate, offering them a tribute to lift the siege and leave Paris. This decision was met with disappointment and derision by the Parisians, who had held out against the siege with great courage and tenacity. The Vikings, receiving the tribute, eventually lifted the siege in the autumn and moved on to raid other parts of the Frankish Empire. The Siege of Paris, despite its conclusion, became a symbol of Christian resistance against pagan invaders. It significantly enhanced the reputation of Count Odo, who was seen as a hero for his leadership during the siege, and paved his way to eventually become the King of West Francia. This event had lasting implications for the future of Paris and the Frankish Empire. It demonstrated the strategic importance of Paris and its potential as a capital. Furthermore, the inability of the central authority to effectively defend its territories against Viking raids led to the rise of local lords and the feudal system, which would dominate medieval European politics and society for centuries to come.